So you get my voice this morning. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, I'll be back with you before too long. This thing's just dragging on a little bit, but I'm going to kick off with this short video, and then you've got your first project that you can dive into and be working on today, which will be making selections for your portfolio. Um, your portfolio is a part of a presentation, and it's a presentation to get a job. You know, it's very different from just a collection of your favorite images, although hopefully it will be images that you love. But it's always important to remember that you are going to make a presentation with your portfolio, talking to an individual or a group of people, and the goal is to get a job. And we have these three bullets here. Please take notes on this and write these three things down. We'll come back to them over and over again. I would contend whatever interview you go for, regardless of whether it's photography or anything else, these are three bullet points that you need to get checked off and make sure that you're communicating these things. Can you do the job? Will you do the job? And will you fit in? Can you do the job? Hopefully, your portfolio is going to demonstrate very powerfully that you have the abilities and skills as a photographer. But will you do the job is something slightly different. Are you motivated? Are you enthusiastic? Are you passionate about what it is that you do? And that's going to be something that you're going to need to think about as you're talking about your images. And we're going to be thinking about how you present your portfolio as a part of this course as well. The third one, will you fit in? If you're going to be working with other people, you need to be able to be relaxed and professional and work with them in a team. And so that last one is really, really important. We'll come back and talk about those things over again and in due course. I really love this. Sorry, it's kind of a little bit out of view. I'll read the top line that you can't see. My portfolio is me, everything I am, and it's everything I'm not. It's my weakness and my strengths, my self-confidence and esteem, my past, present, and most definitely my future. Well, it really needs to be those things. You can carry on reading that while I'm chatting as well. Not sure if that's going to be possible, is it? But anyway, um, so your portfolio, it's going to be used to present your work and a mixture of your work. And I want to go over the overview today as well very quickly. That's the assignment sheet. Let's see if we can get the overview up. And week one, which is where we are now, no class on Tuesday, but today, Thursday, introduction, syllabi. You need to go on Blackboard and fill out the syllabi acknowledgement quiz and look at your first assignment. Next week, we'll be thinking about color management. Gamut is just a fancy word for range of color, and we'll be talking about that. Color management, the management of color from capture to output. You capture your images on your camera, you're going to output them either digitally or as a print. And so we're going to be thinking about those things. Um, Assignment number two, gallery print. We're really going to think about honing and getting the best quality print that we can. And there'll be test prints that we'll need to do, sign off on, and before we can kind of move on. Week three, selection of 24 images, and that's basically what we're working for. Portfolio one is an interim kind of is consolidating the work that you've done through the program so far, and you can include some of your personal work in this as well. We're going to have a very standard portfolio. It'll be an 8.5 by 11-inch size portfolio. I'll show you which book that we're going to get. It'll be very inexpensive, but it'll be a standardized book. When we do portfolio two, that's where things will be a little bit more flexible, but we'll still be prescribing what we think is going to be the best thing for you to do. But more on that later. Brand identity and mission statement. Brand ID is a single word or an idea that really captures the ethos of what you're about. And there'll be a lot to talk about and to think about while we're trying to pin down what brand identity means. Brand identity, a little bit different from what we understand as a brand. Very often when we think of the word brand, we think of Nike's swoosh or the different types of things that we see associated with different companies. The color scheme for Coke, the text that Coke uses, and many other things. The mission statement, a very practical statement about how you want to conduct business. Week 4, we're going to think about a vision statement. A vision statement is very different from a mission statement. Mission statement, very practical. Vision statement, really thinking about the broad sweep of what you hope to achieve through your career as a photographer. And so we're setting targets through this course as well. An elevator speech. The idea is that you've got 30 seconds to sell your wares, the kind of amount of time that you might have if you were talking to somebody in an elevator. And we're going to be honing and refining those words in that class. Design concept. Well, what things, how are you going to interpret your brand identity visually? And that's what a design concept is. And then the portfolio design, how we're going to lay these images out so that they can be printed well. We can see the layout, and we'll come back and go over this again, but you can see it's a really short semester, 9 weeks effectively of instruction. And so we have to cram a lot in. And I need to underscore, you've got to keep up with your assignments. If you fall behind this semester, it's going to get really tricky. And well, Miss Henderson and I, you know, we're softies. We want you to succeed, and we end up grading and regrading. It's going to be really difficult to do that this semester, especially toward the end. And it takes a lot of extra time for us to regrade late assignments right at the end. So we really need you to keep up. Blackboard is set up so that if you miss a deadline, it's going to show immediately and you'll be taking a hit on that grade. So we need to avoid those things as much as possible. The assignment check sheet here, you can use this, as you know, when you've shot or when you've prepared the assignment, delivered it and printed it. The first assignment we're going to be looking at, your assignment sheet will say 40 images. I'm after 36 images. And actually, if we look at the assignment sheet here, we're going to look at assignment contact sheets, contact sheets with 9 images for this assignment. The reason is we're going to cut these images out and we're going to have them as a stack. We're going to lay them all out and we're going to try and make our selection of 24 images, whittling down from our 36. But let's look at the assignment sheet so we've got a very clear idea of where we're heading. So portfolio selection, 36 thumbnail images. Your assignment is to select images for your portfolio. Select a mixture of images taken through the program and personal work, but you must include a minimum of 3 images from each of the following categories. So portraiture, a product or still life, something that we shot in commercial 1, food images, architectural or buildings, and photojournalism or one of the assignments from the photojournalism course. At this stage, your portfolio selection should demonstrate your main area of interest along with a range of other specialties as detailed above. When we come to portfolio 2, we'll probably refine your portfolio so that it's geared more to your main area of specialty. But for this class, we want to really mix it up, showing that you can demonstrate, or demonstrating that you can do a whole different range of different styles of photography. So let me see, portrait work. We need you to show different photographs of different people. We're not going to have the same person in a portfolio more than twice, let's say. And even when it is more than twice, there has to be a real important reason why that image stands out from the other. So if you've got 2 images that are almost the same, we're going to reject those images straight off the back. Same with your product and still life images. It'll be 1 image of each product. I don't want to see in this selection of 36, 2 images or 3 images of the same product. You can have them in the back burner if you want, but for this assignment, we want every image to be very, very separate and working hard for actually being here. On Blackboard, it'll be 4 contact sheets with 9 images to make up your 36 images. And on the server, 4 contact sheets and high resolution files of all 36 images. So all of the 36 have to go on the server. That's going to be our go-to folder for working on these images. And if you have the original files that are, if they're raw files, that would be probably the best thing. It may be that we need to go back to the unedited version of those images to make sure that we're getting the very best out of those. And print contact sheets with 9 images cut out for portfolio selection process. So we'll come back and we'll lay all of these images out on a table, but the contact sheets need to be cut out so that you've got a stack of images. And as long as you're maxing out on the size of the images on an 8.5 by 11, 9 images, remember to check that little box that says rotate for best fit. You should be fine and good to go with that. Let's just come back to look at this PowerPoint again. These are some kind of final portfolios that students quite a long time ago worked on. But I like the look of these images, the way that they're presented. A white border, that's what we're going to be working to for this particular class. The book will become somewhat different from what we're looking at here. And as I said earlier, we're going to stipulate what that will actually look like. In your business class, you're going to be working on a business card, but we will be thinking about promotional items as well that can be included to promote your work. So just a kind of few ideas of what we're going to be heading towards. These images, as you can see, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper mounted on a larger book. The actual book that you're going to use will be an 8.5 by 11 white border with a key line. That will be a part of what we're going to be working for on this particular class. The student decided to go for bled images. Bled is when you have the image going right to the edge of the page. Magazines most often will have images bled off the page, and that won't be something we'll be doing for this class, but it will be something that we'll consider in the future. Also for this class, we will have one image per page on the book, and ultimately looking for 24 images. Your task today, make sure you go into Blackboard, check the syllabi acknowledgement, and make sure you've got that squared away. And the question of the day, again on Blackboard, and then start making your selections and get working on them, and note the deadline for that that assignment, which is, well, I've lost it now, haven't I? Great. We need to have these ready, 5/25/21. We need to have these images ready so that we can start working on the selection and finalizing what that selection is going to be looking at. At that point, we're going to be thinking of a really strong image to open your portfolio, a strong image to end the portfolio, and thinking about how we're going to group those images together. Remember, we're producing something that can be used to present to a prospective client. We want it to work well, and you need to be able to talk intelligently about each of the images that you have in the portfolio. That's the task for today. Dive in and start working on that image selection, and I hope to be back with you very, very soon.